Well, good morning, everyone. Thomas Montgomery here. It is Friday morning, May 20th, 2022. We get together with our distribution partners most weekday mornings at this time to talk strategy, success stories, techniques, and to support each of you. Earlier this week, we launched the discussion, and I can scroll up to the top. I'm currently on page 9. But we have been going through the 125-step checklist for launching a business. This is a good resource, I think, for any of us, but for those of you that are white label partners, it's especially valuable because depending upon the depth of mentoring that you want to do, this can provide you some really deep knowledge and content of how to mentor, coach, and assist your clients. If you're simply a referral partner, this is just kind of a nice to know. But again, if you're a white label partner, very relevant. We start typically by bringing the client into the mix. And if you're a white label partner, you'll bring them in under your agreement. If you're a referral partner, often they come in under fundingproposal.online, where they can go here and just fill out just a few pieces of information, submit. We'll get a quick app from them and we can get them funding offers. The typical client will get 4 to 7 cash funding offers that will fund within just a few days. And then we can continue to work with them after that to reach the rest of their capital raise. So step 1 is starting by getting plugged into the system. Again, if you're a white label partner and you're bringing them in under your white label contract, that would be your number 1. If you're just simply a referral partner, it's probably right here on fundingproposal.online. The 125-step checklist, we reviewed the list and then we started digging into it. It's taking a while. We only made it through actually number 2 yesterday. What the constructive criticism that we received from a number of you is that we probably need in this general session to hit the highlights. And then for those of you that are actually white label partners, go through the entire list. So with that being said, we're going to skip down to page 9 for today's discussion and dig into some really important information that feeds into module 1 when we're helping the client build out their business plan. So we're going to go through briefly today steps 13, 14, and 15. That doesn't mean that the steps that we've skipped over are not important. But again, what I've been asked to do is in our general Zoom sessions, these daily Zoom sessions, hit some of the highlights rather than painfully go through all 125 steps. But those of you that are white label partners that want to go through the entire spectrum will have a different venue to do that. Okay, so let's say that we've got the client enrolled, either coming into the funding proposal link if you're a referral partner, or they've come into under your white label partner agreement. So now the client is, the prospect is now a client. They're on the books, if you will. So then what you know is that we'll be getting them the live plan link. We'll provide it to you and to them, no charge. And so then that is the software that we use to build out the business plan. It's the same software we used when I worked at the SBA. And then when I was a college professor, we used it for the entrepreneurial class. So it's really good. So part of the business plan, to no surprise, is relevant to researching the target market. So let's talk about that a little bit. We'll read this and we'll discuss it. So it says, once step 12 has been completed, which is above, make a detailed list of everyone who would buy the product or service. Be specific. How many potential buyers are in the market? If selling business to consumer, what are the demographics of the target market? This includes age, income, social links, marital status, education, and buying patterns. I'm going to pause here for a second. None of this is about discrimination, but what you and I should know is that there are different target markets. So we'll be professional here, but let's say that you're selling tampons. Is there a certain gender that is probably your target market? Probably so. That doesn't mean you're discriminating against men, but obviously some products are very much oriented to specific age groups, races, or genders. It has nothing to do with discrimination, just has to do with knowing your target market. Okay, moving on. This information can come from any number of sources, both public and private, free and for a fee. One macro source is the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. Another government source for the data is U.S. Census Bureau. For business to business, so here it means we're selling to other businesses. This means we're selling to consumers. For business to business, the best source is likely industry associations. For B2G, meaning to governments, the best source are RFP sites that define municipal, county, state, and government purchases. There are many other sites available. So as a white label partner, you decide how in depth you want to be in helping your clients develop their business plan. You can simply just give them the link to Live Plan, which is provided to you and to them for free, and let them progress forward. And the software has instructions and tutorials, or you can play more of a hands-on role. I know some of you really like playing a more hands-on role, and some of you charge more for that. Take Joseph, who's on the line. He's one of our top white label partners. He doesn't just give the link to his clients. He's spending a considerable amount of time doing one-on-one coaching, and he'll even, because he's kind of a data nerd, no offense, Joseph, but he'll do a lot of the research for clients. Well, Joseph's time is valuable, of course, so he charges above and beyond for providing more services. That is up to you as a white label partner where you want to fit on that spectrum. Hands off, hands on. Do it because you know you're going to make around $10,000 to $15,000 for each client that you bring in as a white label partner. If that seems adequate to put some time into it, great. If that doesn't seem like enough money to help them, and maybe as much as you could, then of course you can charge more. That is up to you. Okay, so researching the target market is obviously important because we need to know who we're going to sell to create a marketing and advertising plan. Let's move forward then. Let's move down to 14, researching the direct. So we're going to talk about difference between direct competition and indirect. Let's talk about direct first. Research direct competition. What competition is already serving the target market? So we had to identify who our target market is up here in 13 to figure out who's already servicing them. This list of competitors should be direct competitors that are marketing to the same clients in the same size market. You want to research competitors thoroughly. What is their model, sales budget? Know everything about them. Sometimes it's best to look at the largest companies in the industry to set parameters, industry expected financials, target market assumptions, and market size. You can even buy information about competitors, and there's a number of sites. So again, I don't want to leave you with the wrong impression. This is how we did it at the SBA. This is how we taught our students that went through the entrepreneurship class. And we spent time hands-on doing this. When we're taking clients through the 4 modules, the 28-day process, it's it's consolidated. So we can introduce them to this information, but there's not a whole lot of time to dig in as deep as if it were a longer process. You have to define what role that you want to be in. If you simply want to be a referral partner, which is fine, you make about $5,000 a client, just refer people to fundingproposal.online and then just get out of the way and get paid. That's fine. For those of you that are more consultative in nature, you want to be more involved with the client, you want to make more money, those of you like Bernard and Joseph and others, then you as a white label partner will want to at least understand these concepts so you can support the client. And again, you could even do more of this if you wanted to charge more because your time is valuable. But that again is up to you. As a white label partner, you determine what the clients pay you for. Take Bernard, for example. For many of our white label partners, they charge a refundable deposit of $2,500. Well, Bernard and some of the others of you have increased that to $3,500 or even $5,000. You'd say, well, why should the client pay more? Well, if you're doing more, why shouldn't the client be paid more? I think sometimes we take a very weird approach, like, well, the customer shouldn't have to pay anything. Well, you have to match what you're providing them as a white label partner with the revenue that's coming in, right? We talked yesterday about the number one goal of a business has to be profit, because if you're not profitable, you won't be around to help any clients. So we're just taking a deeper dive of what you could do if you wanted, but this is certainly not telling you that if you're a white label partner, you have to do all this research for the clients. Not saying that at all. Okay, and so there's a number of websites to be able to research direct competition, direct competitors. All right, and then we'll conclude with 15 for today. Then we also want to research indirect competition and models. An important aspect of market research is considering how macro and micro economics come into play when defining market size, market share, and market penetration models. Often by researching indirect competition, the owner can learn more about the market and expand the model. While direct competition tends to focus on apples to apples, indirect considers apples to oranges since they're both fruit. The same is true for business. For example, if you're launching a used car business, it's important to know the new car business industry statistics as well. By knowing about new cars, the company can decide pricing models, commissions, and target market data, which helps determine the market for comparison, market differentiators, and barriers to entry. So what we're doing is we're going through the 125 steps. We're going to hit the highlights, the most important sections for all of you. And then those of you that are white label partners that are actually doing the mentoring, we can literally spend a different time segment to actually go through all 125 steps. And a few of you have asked, how about we all get together and do it over a day's time? And so that may be what happens. But it's just important. If you're going to be a white label partner, again, if you don't want to be a white label partner, be a referral partner, just refer people to fundingproposal.online, make your simple $5,000 and do nothing else. But if you're going to really be involved as a white label partner, then you or someone on your team will need to be able to at least mentor and direct the client through the process. And that can be hands-off, or it can be very engaged. If you want to be very engaged like Bernard and like Joseph, then this is the type of understanding that by you helping clients at this level of detail will be even more appreciated by the client and generate even more income for you. So that's the point. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, go ahead and post it in the Q&A. Samuel has the first question for today. He's asking about Scott's involvement with this, and Scott is our chief marketing officer, but no, he's not involved with this process at all. So sorry for any confusion on that. Again, if you're a client, then whomever is mentoring you, whether it be me or one of our other internal mentors or the white label partner, they're going to be your point of contact going through the process. Our trainings like today are more of us talking to you as a white label partner, not as of a client. And we wanted to introduce this new tool, this new resource, and hit the highlights. So any other questions, comments, concerns? We'll be back on Monday. We'll continue to work through some of the highlights, but the feedback that I received from Joseph and Lon and a couple others was, let's not painfully go through every step, because it's going to take months and months. And some of you wanted to hit the most important information in a more timely basis. So can't argue with that. So what we're going to do is continue to hit the highlights. And then those of you that are white label partners that want to go through the full curriculum, we certainly will make that available in a different time frame, either online or possibly in person. A number of you have asked about us getting together and doing this in person so you could network with other white label partners. So there's some discussion about that. So what are the action steps in summary? If you're a referral partner, you have a very valuable resource to be able to help small businesses. So if you're just simply a referral partner, start creating awareness and driving people into fundingproposal.online. We'll help them get an initial injection of cash right away, which you're paid off of. And then we'll build out their loan package over a 4-week process. We guarantee them a minimum of $100,000 capital raise. Thus, you're going to get at least $5,000 by just simply referring people in and doing nothing else. Conversely, if you want to be more involved as a white label partner, then this information is more relevant. And if you want to be a white label partner, then we go to 4weekfunding.com. It'll refresh here in a second. And so this is how you get plugged in as a white label partner. There's no cost to get set up as a white label partner. So there's just two paths, and you have to decide which path you want to go down. Regardless of which path you're on, though, the clients are going to go through the same process. They're going to raise capital. They're going to be guaranteed a minimum of $100,000. We're going to spend 4 weeks with them to build their loan package out, which starts with module 1, building out the business plan. And a lot of what we're talking about here has to do with building out the business plan, as well as building financial projections, which we'll talk more about as we go. You can see that there's some talk about numbers later on. So any questions, comments, concerns about what we covered today? So hopefully we have clear action steps. The way you make money is by helping people, and you need to enroll people. So if you're not a white label partner, probably want to become one, 4weekfunding.com to do so. If you don't want to be a white label partner, fine. Then just refer people into fundingproposal.online and make a simple $5,000, and then you don't do the mentoring. Someone else will do the mentoring. If you are doing the mentoring, this is good information to have a deeper understanding, but it is not a mandate. It is not saying that you have to go step by step through this. It does maybe open your eyes to the depth of the process, and it does give you the opportunity to charge the client more so they receive more value. Client doesn't have to pay up front. It can be set off of the performance fee. And that's why some of you charge a higher performance fee, because you're doing a lot. You're helping the client. Take Bruce, who's on the line. Bruce is exceptional at working with his clients. And so is he going to just charge them a minimal 5 or 6 or 7% performance fee? Heck no, because he's spending so much time and providing so much assistance to them working on their loan package. And so that's why Bruce and others of you justify a higher performance fee or even a higher deposit. Many of you want to keep the client on after their capital raise, and many of you are setting up more what I'd call a business coaching service afterwards. And this really sets the tone for that. Any other questions, comments, concerns that anyone has today? All right. Well, as always, we try to cut a little bit shorter on Friday, so we'll see you back Monday morning. Hope you have a great weekend. We'll talk to you soon.